But besides that, there's some other questions. We're going to try to go through these.
That's what I'm here for.
They ask us, why don't we drink alcohol?
Why don't we drink alcohol? Well, the simple answer is because God told us to. That's the simplest answer, which is a foolproof answer. We believe that God knows best. And whatever He tells us, we do it. Now, does that mean we have blind faith? Yes and no. Yes, because we believe that whatever God says, we need to do it. But no, in that we first rationally come to the conclusion that this is a true God who has sent us this book. That is something we need to think about. So we don't expect people to just accept Islam because we tell them to. We want people to critically think and challenge themselves and think about the fact, is this a true religion or not? Is this a true prophet or not? Is this a true book of God or not? Once they answer yes to all of these questions, that's rational. They look at the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, they look at the teachings of the Quran, they look at overall what this religion says, and then they rationally, intellectually understand this to be the truth. They say, yes, this is the religion. Once they accept, now you can't really question each and everything. Why do you pray 5 times instead of 6?
Yeah.
Why is this allowed and that not? Well, I mean, there are always answers, but the simplest answer, like I said, foolproof, God knows best. We said so. Now, that's the first answer, and that's the best answer. There are also, of course, other answers as well, and the Quran tells us that. The Quran very clearly says about alcoholic drinks, and by the way, it's not just alcohol. In our times, drugs, anything that intoxicates the mind, that makes a person...
Marijuana.
Everything. Marijuana, coke, crack,
hashish,
everything is out of the question.
Any
of these things are severely prohibited in our religion.
Because I've heard some people actually say that it doesn't say now that you can...
These are Muslims trying to justify things. There are no scholar who says this, no reputable legal authority says this. And of course, God says so in the Quran quite clearly that there is some benefit in alcohol. Nobody denies this, those that drink it. I mean, there is some benefit in alcohol. But God says the evil is much more than the benefit. The harm is more than the good. And so the harm that's caused by alcohol is much more. And I think any government in the world, especially our Western governments, know this very well. The number of accidents, number of homicides, number of crimes that occur under the influence, right, are much more than the other crimes. And this is something that is well known from experience as well. Living in any land where people drink publicly and openly, look at what happens when people get drunk. And look at the amount of crimes that are committed in the name of, let's say, drugs, trying to get drugs. Right, people will literally sell their own kids in order to get those drugs. We see this in front of us. So God says in the Quran, there might be some benefit, you might get high, but the harm is greater than the benefit.
We see that all around us. Murder, rape, and most of the people are under the influence.
Yeah, exactly.
You mentioned the government. Didn't the government try to ban alcohol at one point?
It did, and it goes to show you that man-made laws are always going to be, trying to be fine-tuned and tinkered with, and that's why we believe as Muslims that the law of God is perfect, because it doesn't need to be changed and tinkered with.